how it's not necessary to, there's a wives' tale that has been going around. It's one of the most widely circulated wives' tales of all. And it's sometimes circulated by people who, they're perhaps gun experts, but they're not experts in the understanding of an AR-15, or for that matter, for any other firearm. An AR-15 does not work wet. I'll repeat that again. An AR-15 is not intended to be operated wet. It's intended to be properly lubricated, not operated wet. Now, the other day, I was at the range and I picked up a brass case, and there were a whole bunch of brass cases, and they were blackened on the outside with soot, and they had streaks running down the side, black streaks running down the side of the case. That told me something immediately. That person was operating a gun in a very hazardous condition, a very dangerous condition, which was operating it wet. Having oil get into the chamber, and oil will get into the chamber. Oil will start, if you have a wet action, if you have an action which is sloppy wet, that oil will find its way into the chamber. When oil finds its way into the chamber, it destroys the required process of case adherence to the chamber. The only way you can get a good gas seal of a cartridge within a rifle is for this brass case to expand and to adhere like basically a brass dry plumbing fitting, which would like a plumber might use on a gas fitting or something like that, where dry brass parts are expanded together and they fit precisely. Well, that's what this brass case has got to do. That was the whole reason behind developing locking breech firearms, which got us away from muzzle loaders, is because this brass case effectively seals the breech so that hot gases cannot flow back beside it. A number of things that are all bad can happen when that occurs. First of all, hot gases coming back alongside that case means that they're coming back, those same hot gases that are pushing the bullet forward at 3,000 feet per second or so are coming back alongside this bolt and eventually can reach your eyeball. That's not a good thing. They can start eating away at the bolt itself. That's not a good thing because it can actually start cutting the bolt. It also creates what's called bolt thrust. When a cartridge is fired, the whole cartridge case seals, and basically this hard section of the brass case right here becomes part of the firearm. It becomes part of the locking breech, and it completely seals the chamber. But it also distributes the gas pressure, which can reach as much as over 60,000 pounds per square inch inside of a AR-15. That's say a NATO cartridge with 5.56 ammo. You can be reaching 62,000 pounds per square inch inside that breech. Well, that's supposed to be evenly distributed in all directions, including forward, to push the bullet out. But what happens is if you have a case which is sliding on oil, if it's not adhering, that bolt is being pushed upon by the same force which is pushing that bullet forward, is pushing directly on that bolt. This bolt is not supposed to be retaining 64,000 pounds per square inch around for the entire cartridge case. That entire cartridge case is supposed to be sealing the breech, holding it fast, so that the bolt is basically just holding that cartridge in place. Yes, that bolt is retaining pressure, tremendous pressure, but you don't want to multiply the pressure by forcing that cartridge case rearward. It's supposed to be sticking inside the chamber so that it adheres and so that it doesn't push back. You don't want to have your bolt sacrificed, and you don't want to have those bolts become cracked and eventually fail. So that's one of the things that can cause undue stress on a firearm.